Dwayne is utterly amazing, Terri. Had he been born in a well-to-do family in the Lincolns, he'd be working for MI5 in London by now. Look how he's managed to bug the town hall with hidden cameras, so Tracey and her followers can learn of any plots to silence their liberating campaign. Tracey is relentless, Terri. Daily, she fights Torquay's rotten rogue landlords, who abuse disadvantaged people in Torquay town centre, accommodating them in their disgusting properties. Private landlords, and their dodgy rental agents, make a fortune from the housing benefit system in Torquay, without being held to account by the local council. It's utterly scandalous.
To be honest with you, Joan, if Dwayne had been born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he still wouldn't get a job in the intelligence services. The man's an unapologetic gambler. He'd spend his last penny on a scratch card down at Carter's, rather than buy food for his starving mother. We all know that Torquay Council protects its wealthy landlord friends, who have always escaped proper regulation. They only look after the rich, Joan. We are viewed as the undeserving poor, who must stay out of sight, never to be spoken of, in case we offend the holidaymakers.
I think your remarks about Dwayne were particularly cruel and nasty, Terri. Especially as Dwayne has managed to tune my dear old black and white television, that I purchased in 1974, to pick up signals from his modern secret cameras, in Torquay Town Hall. Can you be so kind as to let me watch a conversation that's taking place right now, inside Lady Margaret's vault beneath the Town Hall, between leading Conservatives, Mrs. Victoria Bay, and her niece Miss Priti Coffey? Dwayne has a job in the vault, polishing the coffins of past Tory members, who lie at rest until an election is called. Do you know, this is better than seeing any of the usual soaps that we get on either the BBC or Westwood.
How lovely to see you, Aunt Victoria. Pray, what brings you to Lady Margaret's vault on this dull January morn?
The Liberal Democrats have announced that the pavilion is to be restored. This will please too many people for my liking. It might even cause some less educated voters to keep them in power at the ballot box next year. Such a clever move by our adversaries could have a devastating effect.
Personally, I rather like the pavilion, Aunt Victoria. I think that's because I find old buildings incredibly endearing and attractive. Unlike anything modern, history has soaked into their bricks and mortar.
When we were in power, we had grand plans to give a pavilion to a developer friend so he could create a regal concierge arena to accompany a massive concrete tower block that he intended to build on the side. Within its fine slender walls, there were to be wonderful apartments for the super-rich to use as second or even third homes. It would have dominated the skyline for miles and miles. We cleverly put out a ruse, suggesting the huge harbourside tower would also be a hotel. We had to appease the tiresome local campaigning plebs, who would complain that a gated community for the super-rich would disadvantage them. They would be right, of course. Yet, it would have been a great symbol of Tory power and domination across the whole bay.
I was asleep when all this was taking place, Aunt Victoria, but pray, why did such amazing plans fall by the wayside?
Common protesters, assuming the name Save Kerry Green, destroyed our plans with their social media and publicity campaigns. I remember better days when anyone brave enough to oppose us got put in the stocks, either on Kerry Green or Castle Circus. They were pounded mercilessly with rotten cabbages. When we were forced from office, we left the pavilion to slip beneath the waves. We most certainly do not want the Liberal Democrats taking any credit for its re-entry to public life.
Still, dear Aunt Victoria, in the name of our great and wonderful Lady Thatcher of Grantham, take heart. Last week, you carried out a well-timed blast right across the bows of that hippy-dippy, wishy-washy crew, calling themselves Liberal Democrats with a twist of coalition.
With the spirit of true blue, you accused them of failing to manage household rubbish collection services in Torquay.
A party member told me How she has stumbled across an empty bottle of Chateau Lafite, Rothschild Porlac, Premier Cru, an empty cheese board, still sporting a knife of Sheffield steel, and on a willow pattern plate was a half-eaten slice of birthday cake with the letter B on the light blue icing. All of that should have been removed by the refuse collectors long before she arrived just before daybreak.
Conservatives don't fly tip Aunt Victoria. Those items would have been mistakenly left behind by some party members enjoying Wine Friday al fresco.
I could ask Sue Gray to investigate how it got there. However, she is busy with a tin of whitewash, covering over all the cracks in Downing Street for the leaders of our party.
I am surprised that you haven't mentioned Tracey Ireland yet.
You are normally extremely preoccupied, wondering what that common girl from Warren Road is getting up to.
Now that you have sullied your lips by speaking her name, I will say that Tracey Ireland is no fool. She is more dangerous than one could ever imagine. She accuses us of letting the poor and dispossessed of Torquay live in disgusting houses on poverty farms, created next to Torquay town centre, so our landlord friends can reap a fine harvest from the housing benefit entitlements awarded to the lowest of the low. Such confidential information should never be bandied about. We have to win the election next year. And to do that, my dear, we have no choice but finally rid Torquay of Miss Tracey Ireland forever.
Aunt Victoria, pray, do spare me the suspense. How on earth will you get rid of Tracey Ireland? We do not even know where her secret bunker and headquarters are.
Not yet, my dear, not yet. Now then, that common urchin who applies beeswax to our resting members' fine caskets. He also comes from Warren Road, just like Tracey Ireland does. He must know where she can be found. They are all hand in glove with each other up there. You must seduce him, my dear, so he reveals everything to you, including where we will find Miss Tracey Ireland.
Oh, good day, Miss Priti Coffey, you look very nice. Are they the same clothes that you wore at the Downing Street parties held during lockdown 2 years ago?
No, Dwayne, those parties are in the past now. We have moved on. I am wearing this beautiful garment for you, and only you. It was made by lowly dressmakers in the Brasov region of central Romania. It is a place of everlasting life, where we could dance all night, and I would shower you with millions of scratch cards.
Oh Dwayne, please don't fall for her charms. I beg you. The woman is pure evil, and she is luring you into a honey trap.
I wouldn't worry, Joan. Dwayne won't be lured by her charms, but the scratch cards are another matter entirely.
You're right, Terry. I will give Tracey a call right away. She needs to know what's happening. Thank God for those secret cameras.